All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful ways to get a U.S. green card, and here's the kicker. It doesn't require a job offer or a company to sponsor you. Let's get right into it. So, imagine this. What if you could petition for your own green card, simply based on how important your work is, without needing a U.S. employer in your corner? Sounds almost too good to be true, right? Well, it is very, very real. And it's called the EB-2 National Interest Waiver, or NIW. Basically, it's a green card path where you're in the driver's seat. You're the one making the case that what you do is so beneficial to the United States that it's in their best interest to waive that whole job offer requirement. So over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through this whole thing. We'll start with what makes the NIW so unique. Then we'll cover the two major hurdles you have to clear, proving your own expertise, and then acing this critical three-part test. After that, we'll map out the entire application journey and wrap up with the real keys to putting together a winning case for 2026. Okay, so what really sets this whole category apart from all the others? Let's dig into what makes this such a direct path to a green card. I mean, this is the absolute game changer right here. You get to bypass two of the biggest, most frustrating hurdles in U.S. immigration. First, you don't need a company to sponsor you. Second, you get to skip the entire perm labor certification process, which is this long, complicated headache designed to prove there are no qualified U.S. workers for the job. With the NIW, you just leapfrog right over all of that. And because of that, this path is just perfect for a certain kind of professional. We're talking about entrepreneurs. We're building something new. Researchers who are on the cutting edge of science. STEM professionals, especially in fields like AI or biotech. And really, any innovator whose work has a big, broad impact on the U.S. economy, on healthcare, or even national security. But look, before you can even begin to argue that your work is in the national interest, you've got to pass through the first gate. You have to prove that you qualify for the basic EB-2 category in the first place. And there are two main ways to do that. Think of it like two different doors to get into the same room. You can qualify with an advanced degree, which is all about your education, or you can prove your high level of skill through exceptional ability. You only need to qualify through one of these doors. So the advanced degree path is the most straightforward. If you have a master's or a PhD, you're pretty much set. But there's also this fantastic alternative. You can have a bachelor's degree as long as you can show 5 years of progressive real-world experience after you graduated. The only catch is your job has to be considered a profession, the kind of job that requires a degree just to get your foot in the door. Now, if the degree path doesn't quite fit, there's the exceptional ability route. Here, you have to show that your expertise is way above average by meeting at least 3 of these 6 criteria. You don't need all of them. It could be showing you have more than 10 years of experience, or that you command a high salary, or that you belong to exclusive professional groups, or even that you've been recognized for your big contributions to your field. Okay, so you've made it through the first gate. Now comes the main event. This is where you have to prove your work is truly in the national interest by passing this critical 3-part test that comes from a landmark case called Matter of Dinosaur. Think of this as a 3-part argument you absolutely have to win. First, you've got to show your work is important. Second, you show you are the right person for the job. And third, you argue that the U.S. gains more by letting you in without a job offer than by making you wait for one. You have to nail all 3. So let's break down that first prong. Substantial merit just means your work has real value. But national importance, that's the key. Your impact can't just be for your boss or your one company. It has to ripple outward. Think about developing an AI tool that an entire industry can use, or creating a healthcare innovation that could go nationwide, or starting a business that creates a ton of jobs. That's national importance. Next up, you have to prove that you are the person who can pull this off. This is all about your credibility. You'll use your education, your skills, any patents or publications you have, and this is so important, strong letters of support from independent experts who can say, yes, this person has what it takes. You're showing them you don't just have a dream, you have a plan. And this last prong, it's a balancing act. You have to make a compelling case that the benefit of your work to the U.S. is so huge that it outweighs the standard process of protecting the American labor market. It's your unique skills, maybe the urgency of what you're doing, or the economic firepower of your idea that really tips the scales in your favor. So, you think you can pass the test. Awesome. What does the actual journey look like from here? Let's pull up the application roadmap and see how you get from preparing your case all the way to holding a green card. The whole thing kicks off with months of serious prep work, where you and your lawyer gather every single piece of evidence to build your case. Then you file the heart of the petition, the Form I-140. After that, it's a waiting game while USCIS makes a decision. And once you get that approval, you move into the final green card stage. And right here is where you'll make a huge decision. How fast do you want this to go? With standard processing, your petition could just be sitting in a pile for over a year, sometimes almost 2. Or you can opt for premium processing and get an answer in just 45 business days. The difference is just staggering. Now, here's a dose of reality. Even after your I-140 is approved, you're not done. That approval date becomes your priority date. Think of it like taking a number at the DMV. You then have to wait for your number to be called, which means your date has to become current in the government's monthly visa bulletin. For many people, this wait is short. But if you're from a backlogged country like India or China, this final waiting period can unfortunately add several years to the process. All right, let's wrap this up with what you really need to know to build a winning case right now, with a focus on how things look in 2026. First off, be ready for a pretty significant financial investment. The government filing fees alone are over $1,000. If you want premium processing, that's another chunk of change right there. And, of course, expert legal help can run anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000, or sometimes even more. Now, success is never a guarantee. The average approval rates can hover around 60%. But, and this is a big but, look at the difference a well-prepared case makes. If you're in a high-demand STEM field or you're an entrepreneur with some real progress to show, your odds can shoot up to 85% or even higher. It really shows that preparation is everything. So what's the secret sauce? Well, the strongest petitions we're seeing today come from people working in critical tech, think AI, biotech, or entrepreneurs whose businesses are already off the ground and making waves. And why? Because these areas line up perfectly with what the U.S. sees as strategic priorities. And no matter what field you're in, getting powerful, convincing letters from independent experts is absolutely non-negotiable. And that really brings us to the final, most important question you have to ask yourself. The entire NIW process, all of the evidence, all of the arguments, it all boils down to this. It's not just about what you've accomplished in the past, it's about the future benefit you promise to bring. So, is your work ready to make that national impact?